What up, Wastelanders? Christopher here, Gaslands, NorCal. Thanks for joining me once again for another conversion video. Now for this video, it's going to be special in a couple ways. First off, I'm doing another Gaslands, NorCal internal build challenge. Now for the build challenge, I'm going to be using this Segundo rally provided to us by none other than Bo Daddy, one of our internal Gaslands, NorCal peeps, one of my first Patreons, great buddy of mine, and that's what we're going to be doing for this. His only specification for the build challenge is that we pick a specific sponsor. Now, my past 13 videos, that's what I've been doing. A build based on one specific sponsor, so I'm kind of practicing it so far, so shouldn't be too difficult. The second very cool thing I'm going to be doing with this is I'm only going to be using, for as much as I can, the SMS Paints. Now, if you have been watching my the last couple of videos, you've seen me go on and on about how much I love these paints, how great they are, and everything else. For as much as I can, I'm only going to be using these paints. I got a bunch of new colors in that I'm going to be using on here, and based on these colors that I'm actually going to be using for the video, can you guess which sponsor I'm going to be doing it on? I think you might be able to, but if you really want to find out, stick around. But first things first, you know what we got to do? We got to get this baby apart, get her into the stripper. Alright, all primed up. Couple things. The casting is plastic. Didn't realize that when I first opened it up, but we're going to be giving these SMS paints like the full test on these things. So I used the SMS Premium White to do the priming, which I don't think it's like made for. That's like the Surfacer Black is like for priming, because there's primer on there. But it works great. It did really well. Went on there just fine. Even went over some of the decals or whatever is on this plastic casting from Hot Wheels. So did great. Next, we're going to go through and do some of the different paint colors to finish out what is going to be this sponsored build. Now we're going to be doing Highway Patrol. Got the decals and stuff all ready to go. So we're going to be doing like a blue kind of build, bluish colors. So we're going to be using this Prue blue and then just the regular blue from SMS. Now again, these are acrylic lacquer, so make sure that your workspace is ventilated, you're wearing a mask, using your protective gear, or whatever. Basically what it comes down to is don't be a dumbass. So first off, I'm going to go through and I'm going to use the premium blue and do mainly on the sides here, because I want to keep the sides blue, the darker blue. And then once that dries, which it dries really fast, I'm going to go through and do the Prue blue after I tape off the sides. I'm going to do it on the rest of it. And that's going to be my main colors. Now, I'm going to jack this thing up and get a really spiky ram going on there. I've got some exhaust that should work, a little bitty machine gun because it's not a big car. And I've got the lift kit and the wheels and everything. I'm going to get all this stuff together. I'm going to be using the Surfacer Black, which is the primer. I've used this, obviously, on several different bits and pieces and everything else. This stuff works great. It dries fast. It's like a matte black. I have some of their other blacks. I have their jet black and their regular black, which is still a little bit shiny for me, but this stuff works really well. So I'm going to get all this stuff put together and do the Surfacer Black on it. So first off, let's get the blue going on here, let it dry, tape it off, do the Prue blue, and then we'll let that dry and start getting this all together. I'll have to get some lights and stuff going on. I've got the decals and everything, but yeah, loving this SMS stuff, and I'm going to be using this, like I've said, for as much of this build as I can. So let's get blue. so we got everything all painted up, looking outstanding. Just kind of lightly, sprayed over the weapons and the ram, and the exhaust looks outstanding. Got everything ready to go, not glued on there yet, but kind of an idea of where I want it to go. Before I get the decals on, I want to do at least one coat of the Agrax to get it a little bit, kind of rustic, a little weathered. I'm going to do some of the fine detail stuff. Obviously, I can't do that with the SMS paints. For one, I don't have colors. For another, I'm not that good with the airbrush. So, like this area where it should be silver, this area, after I Agrax, and then I'll get the decals and stuff on there, get it all together, do some of the fine detail work, the headlights, the lights with the red and the blue and everything, and then we'll start looking at how much more we want to weather this. But really, this all came together in the last 4 hours, I guess. So the paint dries really quick, everything comes together really, really fast. I'm absolutely loving this paint. So let's get it all together and we'll see where we're at. Alright, all Agraxed up and ready to go. Did a little bit in the recesses and stuff, so made it a little bit darker, not too much. Still very clean. This paint is just amazing. Next, we're going to go through and get the decals on there. The blue and the white are going to go very cool together, so that's going to pop and everything else. Once we get the decals on there, we're going to do a little bit of chipping and get everything else on there and get it all together and stuff. And then we'll look at what else we want to do as far as the weathering and stuff. How much rust and corrosion we want to get on there. It's looking very cool. Love the idea of getting this all jacked up. It's going to look outstanding. So let's get some decals on there and then we'll chip it. Alright, so we're all together, looking very cool. Got the decals and stuff on there. This really looks cool as is with just a little bit of chipping and everything else. But we got to take it one step further. We got to make it a little bit more wastelands. So for that, I'm going to take it a little bit further and do some more weathering. I'm going to do the same kind of method that I've used time and time again. I'm going to start off with the Green Stuff World Rust Textures, medium oxide. Get that on a couple areas. I don't want to make it too rusty or corroded, just a little bit, like on the edges, the sharp edges and stuff like that. We're going to let that dry. Once it does, we're going to hit it with a dirty down rust. Just over most of the areas where we hit the rust texture with, that's going to bring out a little bit more rust. It'll be very, very dark when it dries. So after that, I'm going to dry brush it with the MIG dry brush rust. And that will really make it pop, really make it come out and everything else. Some of the areas after that, I will hit with the panel liner. I've used AK, I've used panel liner from Tamiya or whatever it's called, this one. I like the AK better, just the applicator is better. It works better for me. Use what you like, whatever you use, panel liner, it makes stuff pop. So let's get the Green Stuff World on there. We're gonna let it dry, dirty down, dry brush, panel liner, hit it with some dust, glamour shots. This thing will be good to go. I'm really liking how this one's coming out. It is a highway patrol vehicle, but it is, as it says, a speed enforcement vehicle. Loving it, turning out very cool. So let's get a little bit of corrosion going on. Alright, so we are all rusted and grunged up. We got one more step we're going to do for the weathering before we take some glamour shots and stuff on here. So yeah, overall looking great. Love the casting. It's really versatile. You can probably do a bunch of different things with it. I do like it jacked up a little bit more. Gives it a little more, I don't know, oomph, a little more ruggedness, a little more I'm going to mess you up kind of stuff. So yeah, Last step we're going to do is the accumulated dust. Just going to do a very light dry brush over the entire model, and then probably do a little bit heavier around the bottom portion where more of the dust will accumulate. So let's get that done, take some glamour shots, and then this baby will be good to go. Let's do it. Alright, and there we have it. One El Segundo rally, all redone, reimagined, reborn for the Wastelands. Really like this casting, even though it is plastic. Sometimes plastic castings can be a little bit finicky, especially depending on what kind of paint you're using. The SMS paint worked just great on it. I love how this thing is all jacked up, looking very much like something you'd see in Fallout, or the later movies of Death Race, especially for a police car. The lights worked out perfectly, didn't have to add any additional lights on there. But yeah, even the little bitty machine gun, because it's not a big car, it's supposed to be for, let's see, traffic or speed enforcement. Yeah, I love that. So, turned out really well. Big thanks to Bo Daddy for doing another Gaslands NorCal internal build challenge, and we'll see how I do on this one. Now, let's talk about SMS. This paint is phenomenal. I use pretty much all of SMS paints for this build, except for like the fine details, the lights, and everything else. The white going on there, it's not supposed to be a primer, but it worked great as a primer, even on the plastic, like I said. The metallic, after I did the servicer black on the wheels and everything for the weapons, just kind of lightly sprayed over for the weapons and stuff, turned out really well. The blue and then the Pru blue just looks awesome, turned out great, and this stuff dries, even for airbrush paint, it dries incredibly quickly, and it dries smooth. Can't say enough about it. These guys are based out of Australia, so you may have a time trying to find a distributor, depending on where you're at. I know there's at least 2 or 3 in the US. I've gotten a couple from different suppliers, most from A to Z Hobby. Those guys work out great. Reached out to SMS to see if I could get direct with stuff going on in the world. I'm not able to, but they responded quickly. Their customer support and everything is just phenomenal. Can't say enough about this company, about these paints. If you have the opportunity, try them out. These are acrylic lacquer paints, so make sure your area is ventilated, everything else, use a mask, all that other stuff. But yeah, I would definitely give this stuff a shot. If you enjoy the video, if you learned something, do me a favor and hit that like button. My goal is to do weekly videos, whether vehicle builds, terrain builds, battle reports, whatever. So if that's for you, hit the sub button below and ring the bell to get notified when new content drops. I do sell all my builds pretty inexpensively on my Etsy page, so if you want to pick something up, see what else I've done, you can even request a custom build. If you'd really like to show some love, head on over to my Patreon page and get signed up. Every bit helps keep the paint flowing, the printer printing, and the camera rolling. Until next time, keep your foot on the gas and your finger on the trigger. Gaslands NorCal, signing out.
I'm taking heavy fire on 4. Moving to intercept.
Copy that, 3. Backup is 2 blocks out. Hang tight.